Alright, what's going on, everybody? Welcome back to another video here on the channel, and today, man, I'm not gonna lie, this story really does kind of piss me off a lot, and it's something that's pretty uncomfortable to talk about. It's something that I don't feel like this can really be a normal video, you know what I'm saying? This isn't some internet allegation or anything like this. It's not like this is a debated subject. This is just straight up a story that happened, and honestly, I'm pretty uncomfortable with treating this as any regular video here. I at least want some sort of good to kind of come from covering this subject, so I've decided to not only demonetize this video personally, but I also would really like for you guys to, if you can, donate to the charity that I've linked alongside this video through YouTube Giving. Essentially, YouTube Giving is a platform that YouTube provides to allow creators to work with verified charities to raise money. I will never touch any of the money that you donate. It goes straight through. It's processed by YouTube as a company, and it goes to the charity without, anyone touching it besides pretty much YouTube to process it and the charity. So I've partnered with Rain through this to help provide money to a sexual assault charity so that, people who have been victims of abuse and potential victims of abuse can have an organization there that actually attempts to help and contribute and to fight the problem at hand. So if you wouldn't mind donating to that today, that would be incredible, and I would very much appreciate it. But with that being said, I am going to provide a genuine trigger warning on this video because as much as they get clowned and things like that, these are kind of the stories, I think, in which they serve a very good purpose, and I think that, to certain people, obviously, they don't want to relive these kinds of traumas, and if you have any kind of trauma surrounding sexual assault, I probably would just click off the video entirely, or at very minimum, if you really are interested in the story, please proceed with caution. A woman was allegedly sexually assaulted on a transit train in Philadelphia last week, even as a number of witnesses failed to stop the incident or call police, authorities said. The alleged R-word occurred on the Southeastern Pennsylvania Transportation Authority's Market Frankford line on Wednesday night and was a, quote, horrendous criminal act, SEPTA said in a statement. The Public Transit Authority said other people on the train saw the incident and did not alert authorities, quote, there were other people on the train who witnessed this horrific act, and it may have been stopped sooner if a rider called 911. SEPTA said, quote, SEPTA urges anyone who observes a crime being committed or any dangerous situation occurring to report it. Anyone witnessing an emergency should immediately call 911. SEPTA spokesperson Andrew Bush said an employee in the vicinity of the incident as the train went past called police to report that, quote, something wasn't right. Quote, the SEPTA employee boarded the train and saw the assault in progress and immediately called 911. That prompted an immediate response by SEPTA Transit Police, and an officer boarded the train when it arrived at the 69th Street Transportation Center, Bush said in a statement. The officer located the suspect and the victim and took the suspect into custody. Alright, so just I guess some quick details on this entire thing, because I feel like people really aren't maybe understanding exactly what happened here, right? So this is like a public transportation system, right? It's some sort of maybe like light rail or something like that in the Philadelphia area. Basically just a commuter train or whatever, like a subway or something like that. But on said public train where, any amount really of people could have been sitting and waiting in this public transportation, this handsy guy ended up, first off, kind of like groping this woman and sexually assaulting her that way, and then it turned into full-blown R-word. That lasted for a horrendously long time, and these people stood there and did absolutely fucking nothing while this happened. They didn't even attempt to intervene. They didn't try to call 911. Nobody aboard this train decided to, physically intervene, try to get this guy off the woman, maybe kick his ass. Look, I'm not going to sit here and act like some sort of tough guy. I mean, I'm not a fucking WWE star or a trained Marine or anything like that. I make YouTube videos. I'm just a lawyer, right? But I'm sorry, man. If I saw something like this happening, and I know it's easier said than done or whatever, right? You don't really know until you're in the moment. But if I were in a situation like this and I saw this happening, I genuinely know that I could not live with myself if I did not try to intervene in some way. Am I saying, I'm going to beat this dude's ass or whatever? Not necessarily. But I'm at least going to try and get him off of her. You know what I mean? I'm not just going to stand there and know for the rest of my life that I watched this fucking piece of garbage do something so horrible to somebody who can't really defend themselves, right? And honestly, I can't imagine how hopeless and just gut-churning, I don't even know the words really to put together, gut-churning feeling that it must have been for that woman. To think that she was in a relatively safe place, maybe you get robbed or something on the train, you should never at least especially in the United States, have to worry about whether or not you're going to be fucking victimized on public transportation while a dozen other people stand there and literally just fucking watch with their hands in their pockets, right? With all of that just happening for however long that it happened, this fucking terrible, life-destroying experience, to sit there and know that nobody on that train gave a fuck about you enough as a person to intervene, even by calling the police, has to be one of the most horrific feelings imaginable, and I hope that that's something that nobody ever has to feel. I'm just completely dumbfounded at the fact that not even one person did anything, right? I'm not even saying you have to jump in and fucking, like I said, beat this guy up, kill him, something crazy. You don't have to do that. But if you can't at the bare minimum call the goddamn police, like you can't call fucking 911, right? Like this is a legitimate emergency. This isn't one of these Karens, right, that are freaking out because somebody was bird watching at the dog park or something like that, right? We're not dealing with that bullshit. We're dealing with a legitimate violent crime, right? Somebody is being victimized and you're watching this shit happen with no remorse, no feeling. Like everyone on that train needs to be mentally evaluated to see what the fuck is wrong with them, in my opinion, for allowing something like this to happen. Quote, anyone that was on that train has to look in the mirror and ask why they didn't intervene or why they didn't do something, Upper Darby Police Superintendent Timothy Bernhardt told CNN on Monday. Quote, collectively, they could have gotten together and done something. Bernhardt said the suspect did not know the victim, whom he praised for coming forward, according to CNN affiliate WPVI. Quote, unbelievably strong woman. She really is. She came forward, she provided a lot of information, she's on the mend, and hopefully she will get through this, he told WPVI. You have to think that this woman has dealt with a life-changing, tragic experience, right? And it could have genuinely either been shortened, made better, perhaps even outright prevented if somebody aboard that train gave a fuck enough, right? Like, where have we gotten as a society where you can't go out in public and trust the fact that if something insanely horrible happens to you, you can't even trust the fact that other people around you are decent enough to try and help you, right? Because you have to think, the possibilities really could have been endless. Like, if the police weren't alerted by this transit authority employee, he could have genuinely fucking killed this woman, right? He could have ended her life on that train in front of all those people after doing that to her, right? It is not far-fetched, and God knows how long he could have really assaulted her for. I mean, the police apparently had to pull this ass crack off and fucking arrest him, which, you know, thank God that the police got there and did something, right? Because someone like this obviously doesn't deserve to be living free on the streets, and kudos to the police officers that actually do have to deal with shit like this, because as a person, man, I don't know how long I could have to deal with shit like this as a career path. You know what I mean? Like, yes, there are a lot of bad police officers that do a lot of bad shit, but I think a lot of the times good police officers who do things like this are often very overlooked. I mean, imagine, I would say honestly that it would be, if I were a cop, it would be pretty traumatic for me to have to pull a guy off of a woman that he's been fucking viciously sexually assaulting for however long on a public train, and like that just be, you know, a normal day of work for you, right? That would not be fucking nice. SEPTA General Manager Leslie Richards told reporters Monday afternoon that police arrived within 3 minutes of the 911 call from the employee. I have to say that's a pretty good response time. Richards said that the employee who reported the incident acted quickly and, quote, probably didn't know exactly what they were seeing, but reported it right away. SEPTA Police Chief Thomas Nessel III said that there were, quote, very few notifications to police about the incident, even though there were people on the train with phones in their hands who witnessed the alleged R-word take place. He said SEPTA police got one call and Philadelphia 911 received no calls, and he hadn't heard back from Delaware County 911. Asked if passengers on the train recorded the incident on their phone and posted video on social media, quote, I can tell you that people were holding their phones up in the direction of this woman being attacked. Now, this dude, this part right here just fucking low-key is the part that really infuriates me. It's enough, right, that you didn't intervene, that you saw this and you turned the other cheek, but the fact that people not only fucking recorded this happening for however long, like it was some sort of funny public spectacle, you know, that they could get a viral TikTok or whatever out of, but the fact that it may have also then been posted to social media outlets is, dude, anyone who recorded this and did not intervene should be charged. You know, I'm a lawyer, so I know the law, right? But when it comes down to it, man, like, there has to be something, bro. Like, could they not be considered accomplices to the crime? Could they not, be considered for not attempting to report an emergency? I don't know, bro, but like something, find something to try and match this, because at this point, bro, like, honestly, the way I see it, these people are accomplices in this happening. If you're fucking sitting there recording it for Snapchat, or for Facebook, or for TikTok, you show such a genuine disregard for human life and the sanctity and the peace of being a person in our society that honestly, I don't think you really deserve to be considered a member of our society. Anyone who would genuinely record a crime like this being committed as if it's, once again, some haha funny guy on the fucking train being crazy, these people are animals to me. You know what I mean? Like, these people are not fucking real humans. Because once again, there is no chance ever mentally that I could live with myself for the rest of my life like, hey bro, let me go back in my camera roll and pull up the video of this guy brutally sexually assaulting a woman on the fucking train, right? Like, I could not just be sitting there like, oh yeah, I'm a good guy, right? Because I recorded this, I feel pretty good. I don't even know why you would want to record that. Why would you want footage of that in your fucking phone? It's a horrible thing. Why would you ever want somebody's video like that? You can say, oh, they were recording it for evidence or whatever. If that were the fucking case, there'd have been a call to 911 from a lot more people, If you're sitting there recording this, oh, I need to get some evidence of this happening, bro. At that point, you should already be in contact with the police, because if you think that there's a situation going on that's severe enough that you need video evidence to prove it happened, odds are that's something that the cops need to fucking know about, man. It's a tragic situation, man. The world just feels so fucked up. Like, the last few years, it just feels like people have almost like devolved in a way, right? Like, people just don't know how to fucking act anymore, and it's so horrible because it leads to situations like this. I mean, not to be one of those fucking cringy, corny guys or whatever, but social media and what we see through our phones has become so important that violent crimes can take place on the trains, and people just don't give a fuck because at least they get 300 views on their Snapchat story. So it's just sad, man. With that being said, though, thank you guys for watching. If you did enjoy, make sure to leave a like, subscribe if you're brand new around here on the channel. Follow me over on Twitter and Twitch at @SubTheOptimus. Please, if you do have a little bit of spare money or anything, please go ahead and throw a couple bucks at the charity linked with this video. And until my next video, guys, this is Optimus, well, just horrified that this is even a fucking news article I'm reading, and signing out.